Ladies and gentlemen, gather around and prepare to embark on an unforgettable journey into the exhilarating world of stocks and financial wizardry. Welcome to Stock Market PEDIA, where the stock market meets showtime. Let's kickstart this electrifying adventure together and redefine what it means to be the stock market superstar. So without further ado, hit that play button, fasten your seatbelts, and let the financial extravaganza begin. Get ready for a wild ride because Stock Market PEDIA is here to rock your world. As we begin a new year, it's a great time to take a closer look at the stock portfolios of renowned investors like Warren Buffett and examine their top holdings for the year ahead. While it's important to know that blindly replicating their investments is not advisable, exploring the portfolios of successful investors can provide valuable insights and serve as a starting point for your own research. In this video, we'll focus on Warren Buffett, the granddaddy of value investing, and analyze his top 5 stock holdings leading into 2023. Before diving into his largest holdings, it's important to provide some context. Berkshire Hathaway, Buffett's investment company, has a portfolio consisting of 49 stocks. While these top 5 holdings account for 75% of the portfolio, it's crucial to remember that they do not represent the entirety of Berkshire's investments. Additionally, it's worth noting that not all stocks in the portfolio are solely Buffett's picks. Ted and Todd, Berkshire's investment managers, also contribute to the selection process. However, it can be safely assumed that the top 5 stocks are all Buffett's picks. Due to Berkshire's size, they primarily invest in the world's largest companies to make a significant impact on their portfolio. Consequently, these 5 stocks may not necessarily be the highest returning stocks available, but they are the best options for Berkshire Hathaway given their position. Now let's move on to the countdown of Warren Buffett's top 5 positions for 2023. Firstly, it's important to acknowledge that the exact stocks in Buffett's portfolio cannot be paraphrased without specific information. To provide an informative analysis, it's necessary to discuss each stock in detail, including its performance, financials, and rationale for Buffett's investment. However, I can provide a general framework for analyzing these holdings. Buffett stock number 1. Unsurprisingly, Warren Buffett's largest holding is Apple, which currently occupies a significant 41% of Berkshire Hathaway's stock portfolio. This investment in Apple can be considered one of Buffett's best in terms of the sheer size of the return, even though it may not be the highest in terms of percentage gains. Buffett initiated his position in Apple in Q1 of 2016, purchasing 39 million shares. However, it was in Q4 of 2016 throughout 2017 and the beginning of 2018 that he significantly increased his investment, acquiring around 950 million Apple shares for approximately $36 billion. Buffett's decision to invest in Apple exemplifies his strategy of buying excellent businesses at reasonable prices. During the time of his investment, Apple's price-to-earnings ratio ranged from 13 to 16, as investors were concerned about stagnant revenue growth and market saturation of the iPhone. However, Buffett saw beyond these concerns and recognized the strength of Apple's brand and its ability to generate revenue and profit through avenues other than iPhone sales. Even if iPhone sales plateaued, Apple's pricing power and competitive advantages provided opportunities for growth. With the stock trading at a relatively low PE ratio for a large tech company, Buffett seized the opportunity and acquired as much Apple stock as possible. Buffett's astute investment in Apple has paid off handsomely. The original $36 billion investment has now multiplied in value to approximately $120 billion. However, in the past 12 months, Apple stock has declined by around 30%, leading some investors to become apprehensive. It remains to be seen how Buffett will handle this position in Apple this year. It's worth noting that some analysts believe that the recent decline in Apple stock price simply reflects a correction from an overvalued state and that it may have reached a fair value. Therefore, there is a possibility that Buffett may maintain his current stance on the position. Buffett stock number 2. Another significant holding in Warren Buffett's portfolio is Bank of America, which accounts for 10.3% of Berkshire Hathaway's holdings. Buffett initially purchased Bank of America stock in 2011, but it became a regular top holding in Q3 of 2017 when he exercised his stock warrants, allowing him to acquire 700 million shares of common stock at a price of $7.14 per share. Today, that equity position has grown to over 1 billion shares with a value of around $30 billion. While I may be a novice when it comes to bank stocks, Warren Buffett is certainly not. His investment in Bank of America demonstrates the importance of staying within one's circle of competence. Buffett's entry into Bank of America dates back to 2011 when he invested $5 billion in preferred stock and acquired warrants to purchase 700 million common shares. At the time, many investors were concerned about the bank's capital needs, as several banks were still grappling with the aftermath of the financial crisis and facing increased regulation. However, Buffett saw the potential in the business and the industry it operated in. He recognized that during challenging times, there can be excellent long-term investment opportunities if one genuinely understands the business and the industry it belongs to. Over the past decade, Warren Buffett's investment in banks, including Bank of America, has proven successful. For those interested in bank stocks, examining key metrics can provide insights. Comparing Bank of America's price-to-earnings ratio to that of its peers, it appears marginally lower, although this may be attributed to lower earnings growth. Additionally, exploring a discounted cash flow or DCF analysis provided by Simply Wall Street suggests that further research may be warranted for the business. Buffett stock number 3. One of Warren Buffett's holdings is Chevron, the 7th largest oil company globally in terms of revenue. Unlike American Express and Coca-Cola, Chevron is a more recent addition to the Berkshire portfolio. Buffett began buying Chevron stock in Q3 of 2020. Notably, in Q1 of 2022, he purchased an additional 121 million shares, elevating the company to Berkshire's 4th largest holding. When it comes to oil stocks, I'm not an expert, but it seems that Buffett's investment in Chevron is based on holding a high-quality business at a fair price. In 2007, Buffett himself stated that if he invested in an oil stock, it was because he believed it offered value at that price. It's important to know that Buffett's decision to invest in Chevron does not necessarily mean he expects the price of oil to rise. If that were the case, he could simply buy oil futures, which he has done in the past. Instead, Buffett seeks strong economics in the underlying business and does not heavily rely on the movement of oil prices. Interestingly, since Buffett started buying Chevron and Occidental, another oil company, global oil supply has been constrained while demand has risen, resulting in relatively high oil prices over the past year. However, it's crucial to understand that the movement of oil prices is not the primary factor driving Buffett's investment decisions. He focuses on the underlying business strength and economic fundamentals, irrespective of oil price fluctuations. Compared to the other top 5 holdings, Chevron may be considered the least Buffett-like stock. This is because Chevron lacks a strong moat and operates in a commodity-based industry where its performance is heavily dependent on oil prices. It doesn't fit the perfect formula that companies like American Express or Coca-Cola possess. Nonetheless, Chevron has proved to be a successful investment for Buffett, with the stock reaching all-time highs. Buffett stock number 4. Next in Warren Buffett's portfolio with a 7.5% allocation is Coca-Cola. This is considered a classic Buffett stock, and many of us have probably seen him drinking the beverage over the years. It's known that Buffett consumes around 5 cans of Coke per day, which is quite remarkable. Buffett first purchased Coca-Cola in 1988, taking advantage of the stock market crash in 1987 that caused a 25% decline in Coca-Cola's stock price. This investment in Coca-Cola exemplifies Buffett's well-known approach of investing in wonderful businesses with a substantial moat, all while buying them at reasonable prices. Buffett continued to add to his position in 1989 and 1994. By 1995, Berkshire had invested a total of $1.3 billion in Coca-Cola. Remarkably, Buffett still holds these shares today, which are now valued at over $22 billion, excluding dividends. One key takeaway from Buffett's investment in Coca-Cola is the importance of moats. This is the primary reason Buffett has never had to sell his Coca-Cola shares, and it's a major factor in their significant value today. Coca-Cola possesses a massive brand moat as recognized by Buffett back in 1988. Even when consumers had a variety of drink options, the majority of them chose Coke. This brand strength has allowed Coca-Cola to steadily increase sales volumes and prices over time, ensuring the continuous growth of their businesses. Notably, despite raising prices due to inflation last year, Coca-Cola experienced an increase in sales. Examining Coca-Cola's metrics on Simply Wall Street, we observed that it currently has an industry-standard price-to-earnings ratio of around 28. Based on discounted cash flow analysis, the stock appears fully valued. However, Coca-Cola remains an intriguing investment in Buffett's portfolio, deserving of further research and consideration. Coca-Cola holds a significant position in Warren Buffett's portfolio as a classic Buffett stock. The investment highlights the importance of strong moats, as Coca-Cola's brand strength has propelled its sales and prices over time. Despite appearing fully valued based on metrics, Coca-Cola remains an interesting stock worth exploring further. Buffett stock number 5. American Express holds a 6.91% position in Warren Buffett's portfolio. Buffett initially invested in American Express in 1994 and has held onto the position without making any changes since 1998. While this may seem unusual, it aligns with Buffett's investment strategy of acquiring excellent businesses and maintaining long-term holdings. He hasn't found the reason to sell his stake in American Express thus far. Buffett's original investment of $1.3 billion has now grown to approximately $20 billion. American Express is a well-known company, being one of the major players in the credit card industry alongside Visa and MasterCard. They generate revenue through various channels. In Q3 of 2022, their largest revenue source was their U.S. consumer credit card business, consisting of fees and interest collected on consumer cards in the United States. Following that, their commercial credit card business contributed revenue from fees and interest on business cards. International credit card fees came next, and merchant fees, which are the fees merchants pay to accept American Express cards, formed the final revenue segment. However, when considering the expenses associated with each revenue segment and examining their pre-tax segment income, a slightly different picture emerges. Merchant income becomes a significant portion of the overall income, while income from international cards decreases. That's a wrap for today's video, but the excitement doesn't stop here. Get ready for more mind-blowing content coming your way. We'll be pumping out videos 3 to 5 times per week, so buckle up for an exhilarating ride. Drop your comments below with your topic requests because we want to hear from you. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay in the loop. Stay tuned for the next thrilling episode on Stock Market PEDIA, where we make stocks sizzle.